Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. There has been some new developments on the missing Gannon 11-year-old from Colorado Springs. He has been missing since January the 27th, 2020. And this has since become a missing case since theories or the stepmother said that he must have run away, and the police were thinking he was a runaway, and this doesn't look to be so at this time. There's new surveillance from neighbors, from a neighbor 2 or 3 doors down the street from his home. His cameras are facing like their driveway and just outside their driveway. But the neighbor said that he started looking at his surveillance and going through, like, like police ask you, please look at your surveillance to see if you could see anything, because the stepmother said that the boy left the home walking to a friend's home but never got to the boy's home. But the surveillance is saying something completely different. The surveillance is showing that the stepmother left the home in the morning when it was light and was gone for some hours and returned without the boy. Now, the video of her interview she did, but she didn't want her face on camera, so she faced it the opposite way. So we had the back of the camera, but we know what she looked like anyway. And you can see and listen to her plea of such. But the funny thing is that we find out that she's no longer in the home, and the ex-wife is in the home with her husband. Now they've kicked her out. I don't know what's going on there, but the ex-wife is now staying at her husband's home, her home. Now she has a young daughter, and you will be able to hear her. I don't know what she was trying to do, coach her into saying something that she didn't see or didn't happen at that particular day or time. I'm not sure what she was trying to do or say. But in the light of things, this new evidence is leading the police to a different area in which they were searching for in the first place. So this means that, do they have or got GPS tracking on the vehicle, or GPS tracking on her phone, or even GPS tracking on Gannon's phone? Because they would have tried to get a court order, a warrant to look into the phone records. And now it's looking like the boy didn't run away, but is very much missing. And because he might be missing because of some foul play here. But this is all alleged. This is alleged, and it is, the fact is, they do have the surveillance, so that is a fact, and they do have evidence that her story is not matching up with her first statement that she made to the police. And so this is why maybe her husband's not happy with her and told her not to come home, because this was weird when I heard this. I'm like, okay, the kid's gone missing, but you've kicked your wife out of the home and brought your ex-wife in to the home. Now, I don't know what their situation is, whether that the ex-wife and him share custody of the children, or he's got full custody of the child. You know, that is that I don't know really. Um, and so that's the update on that, guys. So here's her interview she did with a reporter from Colorado. And, well, leave your comments. What do you think? Yes, she's pleading for him to come home so he can let everybody know that she has nothing to do with his disappearance. But it's a funny way to plead uh, for somebody's safe return and please come home. You know, whatever you're upset about, whatever. But she really didn't say that, and she couldn't face the cameras and plead. This was her chance to plead to the public to say, you know, she has nothing to do with it. And she did say, please come home so you can prove to people that I didn't do anything to you. But it's been since the 27th. And what is today? It's the 4th of February. And he has not come home. Now, we don't know what was on his phone, but it stated that he was meant to be looking, can the police or the investigators trace your whereabouts on your phone? Well, yeah, they can. They certainly can. But we don't know if it was him writing this in the Google, or whether whoever it was. We don't really know who it was, but apparently it came from either his phone or his computer or something like that. So that's a little bit update on the missing 11-year-old boy, Gannon Stauch, Stauch. But it seems to be some funniness going on here. Not in funny, but foul play. Well, as you know, she's innocent and proven guilty, we must say. This is all alleged. This could be a complete misunderstanding. He may have run off. He may have done a lot of things, but with new surveillance of, at the time when she said the boy went missing, he walked to a friend's house, wherever he was walking to, but never showed up, that it looks like she put him in the car and was gone for hours and returned without him. Now, did she say she dropped him off at a friend's house along the way before she got home? No, she didn't say that. So, well, she's going to be questioned a little bit more. But they're not going to arrest her yet or anything, I guess. They're just waiting for information. They got Equus Search. Equus Search said they were going to help. They are looking in certain locations. Wherever they got that from, did they get it on a GPS, from the vehicle, from the phones, from anybody's phone? She seemingly left with just him in the car. So what happened to him? What happened to him, guys? So this is another case of a missing child, and the stepmother. It's all about stepmothers, stepfathers, the boyfriend. Well, anyway, guys, leave your comments. Listen to the video of her interview she did on a housing estate somewhere, perhaps near where she's staying, because who gives an interview in the middle of a field. But anyway, she did. So there you go, guys. Let's chat about this one.
I am Tisha Stout, which is Gannon's stepmother.
You've been a part of the investigation since the very first time. You were the last person to see him. Is that right?
Correct.
What did you see when you last saw him?
Well, I'm not allowed to talk about anything with the case. I would more so be willing to talk about how the community needs to have faith and continue to work together and not make these false accusations, like the things that have been said that I've disappeared from the community. I haven't been there to help, but there's lots of reasons behind that.
Reasons like death threats, right?
Right. Death threats are one of them. My family's getting lots of death threats. We counted over 20-some death threats already. Two, my husband's ex-wife is living in our home, and of course I'm not coming home to do these things and to help with the family when I was kind of like told I couldn't. And then many other things that happened with the El Paso County Police Department, you know, and in doing the investigation I was told I wasn't complying. And can I elaborate on that?
Please do.
Yes. So I asked for an attorney during the interview, and I was denied that by them. I was held because they were blocking the door, and I was told I couldn't leave, and that if I would have touched them, they would have probably, you know, said I still wasn't complying or said I was, you know, trying to run away or something. But during the interview, I asked several times, could I stop the interview? Could I get an attorney? Could I stop the interview? Could I get an attorney? I was denied. I was told I couldn't get nothing to drink. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I mean, it was continuously that my constitutional rights were violated.
And that's why you say that they said then you weren't cooperating with the investigation.
That's why they said I wasn't cooperating at that time, correct.
And why did you ask for an attorney at the time?
Well, I asked for an attorney at the time because there was one individual, there was two really good detectives, and so I'm not, you know, going to talk bad about detectives, but the tactics they started to get when I would answer questions, they try to, you know, they're detectives, they're supposed to twist. The one main goal is to find Gannon. But during that time, some of those things made me feel uncomfortable the way they were saying things. So I immediately stopped and felt like an attorney would help me with some of the vocabulary and things like that that I needed help with and understanding some of the things that they were asking.
I'm going to shift gears to what has become a huge online presence of people obviously trying to do the right thing, help find Gannon. But at the same time, sometimes it just feels like rumor mongering. Have you seen any of those comments yourself?
We have, and see, that's one of the main things we haven't been around in the public eye because I didn't want to expose my family to it if all these things were going on. You know, there was comments about Gannon getting pushed off the hike, and there was comments about this, and that's just not true. I took care of Gannon for the last 2 years in our home because his mother didn't want to do it. And I would never, ever hurt this child. And I know there's some questions out there about, okay, so tell me what happens. That's up to the investigations when they end up letting you guys know, but I've cooperated with them, even to the point that we were held with a gun, and my daughter, a 17-year-old who serves our country in the United States Air Force, who has never committed a crime or done anything wrong in her life, was put in handcuffs over the keys that was in her purse so they could take her car.
And they weren't in there?
They weren't even in her car, in her purse.
And
they were in my pocket.
You originally didn't even know it was the law enforcement officer?
I didn't know it was a law enforcement officer because when he came out, I guess he was putting his jacket on, and it wasn't necessarily his fault. He was adjusting and happened to catch me. But I saw the gun, and I panicked originally and kind of thought, oh gosh, I got to, like, who's this guy? And then once I realized it was the sheriff's office, I was totally okay, but they still had a gun and told me they were going to shoot me. But I was really concerned about my daughter, asking why she was being detained in handcuffs and things like that, when that shouldn't even happen for a child. That shouldn't happen for someone who was standing inside of a store shopping, because we couldn't have any clothes because all of our clothes were here. If we came here and got clothes, you know, we would be harassed. So she went to purchase some underwear and things like that and was put in the handcuffs in the store, you know, and then brought out with men with guns. And that's just not okay. You know, they could have approached me and said, hi, I'm with El Paso County. Can I please get this? Instead of the way that it happened.
I'm just going to check your chat. You're doing great. I want to make sure that we're still good on recording, still can hear you okay. Okay, yeah, sounds like we're good. Every once in a while my mic will give out, and I want to make sure that's not going to happen here. Okay. I should try and clarify here. Not necessarily crime rates, but the way that people are reacting online to rumors about you with the search.
Oh yes, wow. The rumors have gotten so bad. I pretty much have been told at least 10 different ways that these people have these conspiracy theories. I guess they watch a lot of law shows and maybe they have all these theories on how Gannon is dead. And that's what they're saying. So I'm like, why are you saying Gannon is dead? He is not dead. We are going to find Gannon. And that's the main goal that we all have, my family has. Just because you haven't seen us, we have that same goal. We've been out searching. My aunt has been out searching. My family has been out searching. We all have been doing that together so that we can protect each other.
How does it feel when not only you have a lost child who you are in care of, but then people blaming you for that child not being there?
You know, I'm just ready for Gannon to come home. Most importantly, for him to see his family. But second, I am going to be so ecstatic when I'm able to say to people that I hope they have a really sincere apology for all these theories that have came out online, for all the things they said that I have done or people have done. And I just want everyone to know that we're going to find Gannon. And I love him so much. I've helped taking care of him for so long.
Can you talk to me a little bit about him? I don't know him.
Gannon is so kind, and he loves to play video games. That's one of his favorite things. He loves Sonic and Mario, and you know, he's always helpful, and he was always so helpful with the dogs around the house, and we have 2 little cute dogs, and he was always like a person I could say, Gannon, can you go do this? And he would do it right away. You know, sometimes with kids we have to remind them and things like that, and that's okay, but he was so sweet and able to help anyone. He could notice when you're sick and say, are you okay? And such a kind heart.
I know you just said that you can't say anything about the investigation, so you can just say so again if you can't answer this, but is there anything we can hear about the hike? Was there a hike? That just seems like rumors right now.
You know what? Could we bring my daughter up here? Because she can go and say that, you know, she came home from work after the hike and she can verify that Gannon was at our home.
Okay, yeah, that's fine with me. If she doesn't want to, that's okay, but you're allowed to
That's fine.
ask her. Sounding okay so far?
Yes. I need Harley. Because they want you to verify was Gannon at home after the hike. Because you didn't go to the hike, but you came home from work.
Do you want me to just say yes?
No, just answer the question. Yes, you came home from work and you can verify Gannon was at home. Yeah. I told her she didn't have to be too in-depth because she is still, you know, a child. But I want to make sure that someone knows that there's another person to verify that Gannon.
Sure.
Does she need to hold this?
No.
Yes, so I came home later that evening. I was at work, and I can verify that he was there that night.
So there was a hike that you guys went on, but then you guys came home.
Yes.
Where'd you guys go hiking?
Garden of the Gods.
Oh, yes. Okay. I guess when
And then we ate Burger King afterwards, so, you know.
there you go.
Yeah.
And then it just was, I'm gonna go to play at a friend's house. And then it was just, I'm off to go to play at a friend's house.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to comment on that anymore, and for that reason is because some things have been turned and twisted, and you know, that was one of those stories you were talking about where people say things. We had to hear things like who would let their child go out at dark and things like that, and that's just why I don't want to answer that. If I had to give, I'm not gonna say that part.
That's okay.
Never mind.
That's right.
I could take that out.
I understand that it gets tricky with
Yeah.
legal stuff. Do you feel like I asked you what I need to? Do you feel like this is going to help kind of turn the tide of what feels like a witch hunt, in my opinion?
I hope. Am I on camera now?
You are
okay,
still.
Okay. I think that a lot of people can see that I'm not missing and see that I am being cooperative. But to me, it's okay that they think those things because the way someone thinks about me, I don't have a problem with that. My main thing is I would never want someone to think that I would hurt Gannon or any of the children in our home because that's just not the case. I've spent my whole entire life working so hard in education. There was even things online that was talking about my education license and I shouldn't even be a teacher. And they just didn't know that. Like we moved on a military move and I didn't finish out my contract, so I gave up my license in that state. It had nothing to do with any criminal activity, you know, or any of those things. And it just got blown out of proportion on my professional status, you know. And
do you feel like these are just internet detectives who think they know what they're doing?
it definitely is. And, you know, here's the thing that kind of saddens me. It's like if you're going to talk about someone like that and have a witch hunt out for them, why would you even care, like, about doing those things? Because this is a child. You're telling me that you're just as mean, you're just as hateful to talk about someone else like that. That's how I feel. Like, we just should not. We should all come together and wait until the end and see what happens, because Gannon's going to come home.
Any message for Gannon?
The message for Gannon I have is, Gannon, when you get here, you'll be able to truly tell what happened. And then I really hope I get a sincere apology from everyone who has made all those things, especially from my husband. We just wanted to add a message to Gannon from my family, is that we love you and miss you, and we hope that you come home soon. And Gannon, I can't wait till you can come home and let everyone know that you're okay.